Welcome back. Got some more stones from the creek. I'm just going to start off with this kind of dirty sandstone. It's I think it's got just a bunch of lot of quartz. The outside. This will make a nice sand amendment. Either skip to the end of this video or watch all the way through, because I found an artifact that I was really not expecting. I got extremely excited. I can feel the younger me would have just gone crazy. This is a much more dense sandstone. Got some weathering on the outside, predominantly quartz, but much more dense than the first stone. Breaking these open are definitely definitely need goggles for opening up, cracking these open. The quartz grains are cemented so close that it's just, you get shrapnel everywhere. What do you know? Another sandstone. Oh, quite a bit like the one we just looked at. And it's got the weathered outside. This is also quite dense. I see a different grain size down there, though. That's kind of neat. The other one is a little bit more homogeneous with grain size. I see some faults in this that look like they'll break open. So the interesting thing is that once you get these larger ones broken down, if you can get them broken down into thin sheets, which is not very easy, then you can pretty much hand grind it with a pestle and mortar without having to break it down further with a hammer. All right, this is a beauty. What do you know? It's another quartz arenite, but this one is finer grained and a lot more white. As you can tell, didn't seem to get as much staining on the outside. Let's see how close we can get. Yeah, this one's pretty loosely put together, so I can see this breaking apart nicely. So silica sands, pretty much what I'm creating. I will make a video that pretty much there's a pebble size, and if it is a sandstone, metamorphic, or igneous rock, I will break it open. I'm going to try and steer clear of stones that are made of silt and clay. I've decided against kind of crushing those down. I like the grain size that I've been getting. This, my favorite sandstone of the video, because it is made up of more than just quartz. This has a bunch of other grain sizes, and the makeup of the grains are different. I think I'll show you. There might be a potassium feldspar, and I think one of these larger ones. Yeah, right at the top there. Or in the middle, I guess. Top of the rock, but middle. So still mostly quartz, but it's definitely got some fragments of other things going on in there. Here's what it was attached to before, or at least that grain must have split in half. All right, next up is a bit of a mystery. Don't know if this was a weird one. I'm going to break this down also because, I mean, I think that's quartz right there. I'm going to break this down because when I hit it, it's layered like a gneiss, but it's split like a schist. So I'm not particularly sure. Usually when I break into schists, they have a bit more of a grain structure. They'll do a video on some of the larger schist rocks that I took from my sister's fallen rock wall in her yard. So this one's a bit of a mystery to me. I think there's quartz in here. That would be probable. But as far as other mineral makeup, I'm not entirely sure. I'll show some other parts of it that broke off. Okay. So not 100%. Any ideas, leave comments. Yeah, see the layering there. It looks like they're layered quartz. Let's show, okay, I'll show this last bit, and then we'll move on to what I was just absolutely amazed by. So yesterday it was 70 something degrees, and so I decided, okay, I'm going to hop in to the creek and, you know, do some kind of panning with a colander. I can pick up stones with my hands, and would you believe, an arrowhead. This was the craziest thing. I found more human-made things yesterday than I ever have. There was a spike of some sort. There was a broken, almost freshly broken beer bottle that I could have sliced my hand on. And then this. And I cannot tell you how excited I was to discover something like this. Just absolutely cool. I don't think this is flint. I mean, this reads to me like a piece of shale. You know, a shale arrowhead. Now, in my area, there was the Confederacy. So there were, I believe, 5 tribes named after the lakes around here that created kind of a peace agreement. In where I am, could have been Onondaga, Oneida, Cayuga, Native Americans that would have used this land. My property is kind of perfect. There's a creek right next to it that floods, and then where my house is on top of a hill that doesn't flood, so it's just outside of a floodplain, so it would have been a perfect place for a settlement. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I hope you stayed long enough to see this. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.